Alright, now the story for X-Men Destiny. Unlike every other X-Men game that we have played out there, this one you don't actually get to play as the really popular ones. You don't get to play as Cyclops or Wolverine or Jean Grey or Magneto. You don't get to play as any of them. You get to play as one of three generic characters. You get to play as Adrian, Amy, and some football jock. I can't remember his name. And you can pick out of one of three of these characters, and right in the beginning something really bad happens at this like parade or something that they're having for Professor X. Professor X, we all know, Charles Xavier. He actually died in between something, I don't know, they don't really explain it, just said he gets killed from a battle, and they're honoring his memory, and right in the beginning something really bad happens. Your character that you picked gets thrown into this situation, and he has to choose if he wants to be a bad guy or a good guy throughout the story and figure out who attacked and why. So that's really the story. I'm just going to leave it off there. I thought it was very generic, but maybe it's my fault for not reading the comics, but yeah, whatever. I just didn't really like it. So let's go on to the sound. Alright, now the sound in X-Men Destiny. I'll say this, the voice acting is actually good. I actually really like the voice acting. And it's actually surprising because there's a lot of characters in this game. So I was expecting maybe a couple here and there that are going to be bad. There's a couple that are a little stereotypical, like Colossus is the big Russian guy, so he sounds really, really Russian. But it wasn't terrible. I would say the dialogue isn't that great, but the voice acting itself isn't terrible. And of course you have Steve Blum who plays Wolverine, and that's amazing. Steve Blum as Wolverine's always awesome. So I really like the voice acting. Now the rest of the sound effects are repetitive. They really are. Every time you attack someone, it's like whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Or if you're using a ranged attack, it's whoosh, whoosh. So it's like it's just the same stuff over and over again. There's no real great sound effects. It's generic, and the soundtrack itself is hit or miss. I don't really remember anything from the soundtrack, really. No real cool orchestra, badass music. I don't really remember it, but it wasn't terrible. It didn't take me out of the experience, so I guess it's okay. Whatever. So anyway, the sound for me is a mixed bag. I would say it's okay. Let's go on to the graphics. Alright, now the graphics for X-Men Destiny. Now, I knew these graphics weren't going to be great. I mean, I've seen previews for this game, and it didn't look so well. I went into the game, and wow, the graphics are dated. I mean, really, really dated. They look like early Xbox 360 and maybe PS3 graphics. Wow, these graphics are ugly. There is some ugly textures going on, some ugly environments, just some ugly, deformed looking character models. There's nothing in this game that looks appealing. Even the effects look kind of boring and just obvious. Like whenever you throw something that's electric and yellow, it looks the same over and over again. All the little special moves that you can do don't really look all that great either. The graphics themselves are really, really, I would say fugly, to be honest. It's like, it's not pleasant to look at. If I could say anything good about them, the animations aren't bad, I guess. That's about it, really. But for the most part, the graphics are not very good in this game. So let's go on to the gameplay. Alright, now the gameplay for X-Men Destiny. When I was playing this game, I was expecting a little variety in the game. Now, I didn't get that. All you do in this game is go to each stage, you beat up enemies, you go to the next part, you beat more enemies up, and then you have a time limit where you have to beat enemies up. So it's just kill enemies, kill enemies, kill enemies. Oh wait, look, press the A button. Oh, now beat some more enemies up. What a time limit! So you have to do this one fast, and it's just over and over and over again. I will say this: what is really cool about the game. In the beginning, you could pick three different characters and three different abilities. So if you don't like your first ability, just go back to the beginning of the game and try a different one out. If you don't like that one, try a different one out. And if you don't like that one, I guess you're fucked then because there's only three of them. But besides that, the only other thing that I can think of that's good in the gameplay is maybe the unlockables. In the game, you can find a whole bunch of different unlockables, like different costumes and concept art and upgrades for your characters so you can make them better, have better combos, do better abilities, mutant abilities and all that. But the thing is, it doesn't really matter because the gameplay is so boring. Even if you do combos, it's like, yeah, I just did that. Too bad it's really repetitive because I'm killing about 100 enemies every 10 seconds. It's like, it's the Dynasty Warriors of X-Men games. That's how I feel about this game. This game is just boring. The other thing it really tries to do is bring a Mass Effect-ish feel to it with the dialogue, because you can actually go and talk to random X-Men characters or the Brotherhood characters and just pick different things to ask them and stuff. And it doesn't really matter because it doesn't amount to anything. All you do is ask people. You're not like building relationships like in Mass Effect. You're just talking to people. There's no point to it. There really isn't. They just added it so they could say, hey, it's like Mass Effect, but it's X-Men. Woo! I don't like this game. I'm just going to say it. It's boring. It's repetitive. It's very short. There's no multiplayer. It's a bad game. I'm just going to say it's a bad, frustratingly boring game. And I'm just going to leave it off by saying this. Do not buy it. If you want, rent it. But don't buy it. It's a boring game. So anyway, there's my review for X-Men. Very disappointing. I did not enjoy it. I hope you don't because it's bad. Anyway, thank you and goodbye.